Sri Lanka has run out of fuel, and they're facing the worst economic crisis in decades. According to Daily Caller, a chemical fertilizer ban in 2021, part of an initiative to cut nitrogen waste and implement greener farming practices, drastically reduced crop yields and damaged Sri Lanka's trade balance. One economist said the decision to overnight shift away from synthetic fertilizers was an absolute disaster. So the prime minister declared just Tuesday of this week that the country has gone bankrupt. That's via Business Insider. Let me pull this up. So on Tuesday of this week, Sri Lanka says it's bankrupt. The financial crisis ravaging the country deepens. One expert says it's because, look what fuel supplies have run out. They're now asking the IMF about a bailout. The economy began to falter in late 2020. The government blamed on the pandemic, but one expert said it was mainly caused by racking up debts with China, political mismanagement. They faulted on its debt, Sri Lanka, for the first time in May. They said on Sunday of this week, they had less than 1 day's worth of fuel left. People are waiting in line for hours trying to get gas. The price of basic food has more than doubled. Schools have been shut. IMF, they're trying to save what has been called a collapsed economy. Reuters reported the prime minister as saying, quote, "We are now participating in the negotiations as a bankrupt country." They've been trying to form an aid consortium with India, Japan, and China. And here, what are they focused on? Well, we need to cut nitrogen emissions. We need to cut this. The government lifted the fertilizer ban in November 2021, but the damage was already done, according to the American Institute for Economic Research. They said that the 2019 bombing, coronavirus lockdowns crushed tourism in Sri Lanka. And now here we have a number of countries where you have these wild, it's that 2030, that Paris Agreement. What do you think is that's the whole point. Look what's happening here in the United States. Purposefully withholding, which I think is criminal. Purposefully withholding. Increased drilling. The Democrats' longtime refusal to invest and expand refineries. I mean, it's just wild. Wild. And then here we're trying to shift everything to EVs, which I'm not against, I'm not against EVs, but I am against artificially and manipulating the economy to try to force everyone onto something that it's just not sustainable yet. It's just not. And Juan's right, as he notes, he's like, this could be our future. It absolutely could be. I mean, this is where it's heading if our leaders don't check themselves here. I mean, just look at gas price right now. Gas prices shouldn't be this way, especially when the United States, it's replenishing. There's not like an X amount of oil in the ground. It replenishes. I mean, that's what people don't get. It's not, fossil fuels aren't really necessarily fossil. I mean, I think that was a term that they decided to push to sort of falsely indicate scarcity, and that's not true at all. I mean, what is it? I was reading this thing that said oil is like one of the most prevalent liquids on Earth next to water, and it regenerates faster than it can actually be depleted. But no, this is a man-made problem. It is a man-made catastrophe. This is not unlike. I mean, look what happened with the Great Famine with China with Mao. I mean, Ukraine's already been through something like this. This is her second time essentially going through it. This is man-made.